Dinar Shift, something momentous, is reportedly stirring beneath the surface of the world's most guarded financial systems. The years of quiet speculation and fervent discussion surrounding the potential for a currency revaluation involving the Iraqi Dinar at IQD and the Vietnamese Dong VND are, according to a cascade of internal reports, giving way to concrete action. What was once relegated to the realm of rumor and wishful thinking by many mainstream observers is now being framed by private financial network sources as an orchestrated strategic activation. This shift in tone from distant possibility to imminent reality marks a dramatic turning point in a protracted narrative, suggesting that a silent, coordinated transition is now underway across multiple major financial hubs. We are tracking a developing story that speaks to highly discrete, high-level operational readiness, moving the conversation from if to when with astonishing speed. The emerging details, which we will unpack tonight, suggest a level of intergovernmental and institutional coordination rarely witnessed in the modern era of finance, entirely focused on ensuring security and stability above all else. This complex financial procedure, if the reports are accurate, is the culmination of years of preparation for a significant rebalancing of global economic factors, utilizing precise, calculated movements to avoid market disruption. The nature of this reported activity suggests a methodical rollout designed for absolute control and security. Across a number of specialized financial networks, the buzz is palpable, with terms like Tier 4B readiness moving back into the conversation. This phrase, for those tracking the reported developments, specifically refers to the non-institutional private holders of currency, the everyday individuals who have endured years of waiting, false alarms, and setbacks while maintaining their positions. The emerging evidence suggests that the focus has now shifted to establishing secure mechanisms for this very group, indicating that the long-anticipated private exchange phase may be in its final preparatory stages. It is a moment where long-held patience is reportedly transitioning into active expectation, evidenced by an alleged surge in internal communications and logistical deployment at authorized financial centers nationwide. The framework being reported suggests a critical phase dedicated to validating the systems under real-world conditions with a select group of participants before wider public access is considered. Confirmation of operational readiness is not arriving through public announcements, but through encrypted internal channels, according to numerous accounts from across the United States. Reports have indicated that regional banking branches, particularly in key financial centers across states such as Texas, Florida, and Nevada, have allegedly received new internal operational directives. These documents are described as confidential Treasury coordination memos, a classification that immediately elevates the significance of the reported activity. These reports alone have sent a ripple of anticipation through the dedicated online communities, confirming for many that the logistical framework is being silently constructed nationwide. The public silence is being broken not by headlines, but by verifiable internal movement and preparedness protocols, including reports of security teams being stationed at select banking locations. This suggests a physical readiness complementing the digital activation, underscoring the serious nature of the operation being discussed within private financial circles. The detailed accounts of these operational shifts paint a picture of extraordinary precision and security. Sources within banking networks are describing a controlled access rollout, where contact with selected currency holders is managed directly through verified and private channels, bypassing the need for any immediate public disclosure. This methodology explains why the supposed new exchange rates are not yet visible on mainstream platforms like forex applications or standard search engine currency converters. Instead, the focus is on a phased approach where specific exchange centers are said to already possess internal rate sheets approved and coordinated with higher financial authorities. This quiet sequencing is understood to be a critical strategy to maintain an organized, secure process, deliberately shielded from the market chaos that a sudden, public announcement might induce, prioritizing stability over speed in the initial phase of the transition. The security measures being reported underscore the magnitude of the financial shift allegedly underway. There have been accounts of armored vehicles making highly discreet, nighttime deliveries to high-security financial facilities. These vehicles are reportedly carrying sealed boxes marked with special verification tags, confirming their sensitive contents are Treasury verified. The cargo, according to internal scanners and authentication logs, is described as including critical security devices and sealed packets containing updated rate confirmations. Every single movement, every file transfer, and every subsequent transaction is reportedly being logged and monitored in real time under strict governmental oversight, ensuring an absolute chain of custody and accountability. This meticulous approach speaks to the profound national security implications of rebalancing major world currencies and protecting the integrity of the process from external interference or speculation. The underlying rationale for this pervasive secrecy extends far beyond simple banking protocol. It is a vital safeguard against potential global economic instability. The revaluation of two prominent global currencies possesses the potential to instantly shift economic balances across the globe. International monetary authorities have reportedly been waiting for a period of absolute digital system synchronization before initiating this move. This includes ensuring that every major system, from the traditional STU-FT network to developing quantum financial platforms, is perfectly aligned. Financial engineers familiar with the reported protocols have emphasized that attempting a currency rate change without this fully synchronized digital foundation would risk generating digital chaos, which is precisely the outcome these highly guarded maneuvers are designed to prevent. The systemic stability of the global financial architecture is reportedly the primary concern guiding the pace and structure of this reported rollout. For weeks, these technical updates and rate confirmations have been quietly tested, reviewed, and mirrored across parallel digital systems. It is understood that late last night, the critical synchronization milestone between the U.S. Treasury and top-tier banking institutions reportedly reached completion. This particular achievement is believed by many to be the trigger for the silent, nationwide activation phase that is now allegedly unfolding. The narrative is therefore transitioning from one of infinite, wary waiting to one of confirmed motion. The sophisticated, digital gears of what is described as one of the world's most carefully guarded financial transitions have definitively begun their rotation, marking a profound change in the operational landscape from theoretical planning to active implementation across the various specialized financial nodes. For years, many financial mainstream outlets and seasoned skeptics dismissed the belief in the revaluation of the dinar and dong as an irrational myth or a baseless scam. However, the tone has reportedly changed dramatically in recent days, with even long-time doubters beginning to observe the sudden reported shifts with a newfound gravity. Private bank insiders have reportedly confirmed receiving rate sheets that are explicitly marked with access restrictions. Furthermore, regional managers in key metropolitan areas, including Dallas and Atlanta, have allegedly acknowledged receiving specific exchange readiness notifications. Multiple individuals, including some long-standing currency holders, have shared what they claim are verified appointment confirmations, all stipulated under stringent, non-disclosure agreements to preserve operational security. These reports suggest a measurable, procedural phase is now in effect, moving beyond mere rumor. One compelling anecdote circulating through private groups involves a woman from Phoenix who reportedly received a call from a financial representative. The caller requested she bring specific documents, 2 forms of identification and proof of currency purchase. When she explicitly mentioned holding the Iraqi Dinar, the response she received was reportedly simple, firm, and telling. Yes, we're ready. While the call was said to have ended abruptly, the message was powerful enough to generate significant excitement across online communities. Such first-hand accounts, while unverified by public media, are feeding the narrative that a tangible and real movement is indeed occurring behind the thick doors of the financial world, demonstrating a preparedness among select banking personnel to handle these specific currency transactions under strict, non-publicized conditions. The intricate operational instructions, reportedly passed down to banking personnel, reveal a deep commitment to maintaining discretion. Insiders suggest that every participating bank branch has been directed to clear and prepare private meeting spaces while minimizing any public access to these sensitive areas. The staff specifically designated to handle these exchanges have allegedly been placed under the most rigorous confidentiality orders. Furthermore, communication between different banking departments has reportedly been transitioned to coded internal systems to prevent leaks before the official public roll out. Even the digital memoranda are said to be fortified with time-based access codes that automatically expire after a brief window, ensuring that no information is allowed to leak prematurely before the official system-wide public reveal is deemed secure and coordinated. The reasoning behind this extreme caution is rooted in the strategic, rather than merely financial, nature of the event. The world's core financial structure is said to be undergoing a preparation for what many are terming the global asset realignment. This is a significant shift where currencies are reportedly being rebalanced to reflect their real world backing. The value of tangible assets such as oil, minerals, and production capacity, rather than relying solely on speculative paper fiat standards. Both Iraq and Vietnam, as resource-rich nations with significant strategic importance, stand perfectly poised to substantially benefit from this fundamental and widely discussed revaluation of their underlying economic potential. The reported revaluation is seen in these circles as a component of a larger, deliberate strategy to stabilize and legitimize the currencies of key developing economies. The emerging map of confirmed exchange centers provides a clearer picture of the geographical scope of this reported operation. Across the country, an expanding list of authorized exchange facilities is reportedly surfacing. These locations are explicitly not regular, over-the-counter bank teller windows, but specialized financial facilities granted specific authorization to manage high-value currency redemptions under the direct supervision of Treasury authorities. Reported activity has been detected in a wide arc of major cities, including Dallas, Houston, Miami, Reno, Atlanta, Chicago, Charlotte, Denver, and Las Vegas, indicating a comprehensive nationwide infrastructure is being utilized for the commencement of these highly specialized transactions. The geographical distribution suggests a broad, organized approach to managing the volume of exchanges anticipated in the coming phases. To facilitate this massive logistical undertaking, there have been reports that some regional banks have quietly extended their working hours without any public explanation or announcement. Concurrently, security patrols around these identified locations have been visibly increased, and surveillance teams are reportedly on active duty. In at least 2 cities, bank executives themselves have allegedly been asked to remain on site overnight for ongoing coordination meetings. Though this information remains strictly restricted from mainstream media outlets, the consistent alignment of multiple independent, internal reports across various regions suggests a single, cohesive timeline is being followed. The silent rollout is reportedly underway, and the necessary infrastructure is live and operational across the nation, forming a critical, guarded network for the transition. For those wondering about the absence of these developments on major financial news networks like CNBC or Bloomberg, the answer is reportedly rooted in the paramount need for control. This entire financial transition has been meticulously designed to unfold without causing public panic or mass hysteria. Treasury officials, according to sources, are explicitly attempting to avoid viral videos and long lines around the block before the entire digital and physical system is confirmed to be stable and fully secure. Therefore, this early phase, known internally as private access exchanges, is being managed discreetly, often through invitation-only appointments, to rigorously test the system's integrity, rate consistency, and security mechanisms before the broader, public phase is initiated. This soft launch methodology is a non-negotiable requirement for an operation of this systemic magnitude. Every single step in this initial process is geared toward guaranteeing a seamless flow once the operation becomes public knowledge. Behind the scenes, exchange officers are reportedly undergoing final training sessions, compliance teams are on high alert, and real-time data from every transaction is being monitored from centralized Treasury control rooms located in Washington, D.C. Each test transaction and every completed verification step brings the process one critical step closer to a global, official confirmation. This soft launch approach is a deliberate, methodical strategy to manage the profound systemic risk associated with such a large-scale currency revaluation, ensuring that the process can be scaled up smoothly without encountering unforeseen complications or sudden market shocks. Perhaps the most surprising and significant element of this unfolding narrative is the reported dual currency pairing. For many years, uncertainty lingered among currency holders about whether the Vietnamese Dong VND would follow the Iraqi Dinar's IQD or if its revaluation would be handled entirely separately. Now, confirmed reports from multiple locations suggest that both currencies are being processed simultaneously as a single package. The confirmation of dual currency appointments at various specialized centers means that holders of both IQD and VND can finalize their redemptions in one coordinated effort. This measure not only dramatically speeds up the procedural timeline, but also signals a much deeper level of synchronization between the financial systems of both nations, operating under a shared, high-level protocol, minimizing complexity and maximizing transactional efficiency. This profound level of coordination, pairing the dinar and the dong, is not an impromptu development. It represents months, if not years, of meticulous global alignment, diplomatic negotiation, and technical integration. Experts are theorizing that this joint pairing could be the initial building block of a larger, systemic financial model. This model is rumored to tie regional economies directly to solid, asset-backed standards, whether that be gold, oil, or production value, forming what some analysts are referring to as the global currency integrity framework. The implication is a transition away from purely fiat currencies toward a more tangibly valued global trade structure, benefiting resource-rich nations by reflecting their true intrinsic economic value in the international marketplace. So, the critical question remains, how close is the world to seeing a public, official confirmation of these reported rate changes? Multiple internal indicators strongly suggest that the operation is now situated within the final testing window. Sources close to the coordination efforts indicate that Treasury officials are currently running exhaustive cross-border verification checks with allied international financial systems. This is to ensure that the new rates remain stable and consistent across every participating jurisdiction. Until this complex global verification phase is fully complete and approved, the general public will not see any new numbers reflected on official apps or trading platforms. However, the internal consensus is that despite the necessary caution, the process is relentlessly moving forward, independent of public financial reporting systems. The reported consensus among insiders is that despite the necessary caution, the process is relentlessly moving forward. This silent rollout is the definitive signal that the long-term holders have been waiting for. The intense, quiet period immediately preceding the full sunrise. As more exchange centers are brought online and become active, insiders fully expect the number of operational redemption locations to dramatically triple within a matter of days. This kind of rapid, large-scale infrastructural expansion can only point toward one conclusion: the comprehensive readiness of the entire system. At this stage, the conversation has officially shifted. It is no longer a matter of if the event will happen, but definitively when the full public disclosure will be made based on the successful validation of the private exchange phase. And yet, amid all this anticipation and reported activity, a strong message of caution is also being circulated internally. Treasury advisors have reportedly issued firm instructions to all participating banks to strictly avoid any premature disclosures or social media leaks. Any violation of these confidentiality rules, it is understood, could immediately result in severe penalties or the immediate suspension of the offending party from the entire redemption program. This is why even bank employees directly involved in the process are absolutely forbidden from confirming any details publicly. Many are being required to sign extended non-disclosure agreements, ensuring that operational secrecy holds until the moment of the official, system-wide public reveal is strategically deemed appropriate. Despite these stringent secrecy measures, digital breadcrumbs continue to appear in private forums. These include blurry screenshots of documents, purported appointment confirmations, and encrypted chat messages from individuals claiming to have first-hand involvement in the initial stages. While all of these must be approached with healthy discernment and caution, the undeniable pattern of information suggests an overwhelming surge in operational activity. The volume and consistency of these decentralized reports strongly indicate that something significant is indeed happening, and its pace appears to be accelerating rapidly behind the scenes, creating a unique tension between strict confidentiality and undeniable reported movement within the currency communities. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., the lights are reportedly burning late into the night at the Treasury headquarters. Senior officials are said to be monitoring the live exchange data feeds, meticulously tracking the exact appointment times and verifying transaction logs in real time. One highly placed insider reportedly described the entire operation as functioning at a national security level of oversight. Every single exchange sender is reportedly connected to a secure, dedicated Treasury node, which means no single transaction, no matter how small, goes unseen or unrecorded. This incredible level of centralized coordination ensures the absolute safety, security, and legitimacy of the entire structured financial transformation, providing a rigorous audit trail for all activities. For currency holders, this intense oversight provides a form of inherent security. Every verified redemption is time-stamped, meticulously logged, and permanently stored for future auditing and compliance purposes. It represents a structure of complete transparency behind the operational curtain, while maintaining absolute control on the public-facing surface. This is the very definition of a structured rollout, a process designed from the ground up to transform two nations' currency systems into a new, asset-backed reality without triggering any form of public financial disorder or market disruption. The goal is a controlled, systemic transformation rather than an explosive financial event that could destabilize markets globally. Looking beyond the borders of the United States, reports have also indicated key developments in the originating countries. The Central Bank of Iraq has reportedly completed its internal rate alignment process, locking in the final figures after months of preparation, with rumored values exceeding what some have claimed, such as the figure of $3 per IQD. Simultaneously, Vietnam's financial authority has also reportedly finalized its internal recalibration within the same coordinated 72-hour window. The unprecedented synchronization between the domestic financial systems of both nations strongly points toward what international analysts are now calling Phase 1 of the global realignment, representing a significant joint step on the world economic stage. If these internal reports of synchronized completion and coordination are confirmed, this event would collectively mark one of the largest and most complex financial transitions in modern history, particularly regarding wealth transfer dynamics. And yet, it is reportedly being executed in absolute silence. There are no press conferences, no global summit announcements, and no celebratory ticker tape parades, just the quiet, internal confirmations filtering out after years and years of intense, often frustrating speculation. For those who have demonstrated immense patience, this reported moment represents far more than a financial return. It is the ultimate proof that persistence, preparation, and an unwavering belief in the potential of the two currencies were not misplaced. Across America, the emotional weight of this unfolding narrative is immense for private holders. In homes across the country, holders of the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong are reportedly sitting in a state of cautious disbelief. After years of facing widespread ridicule and dismissiveness, they are now watching the tangible, logistical signs unfold before their eyes. Private chat groups and social media channels dedicated to the revaluation subject have seen an explosion in traffic and activity. Messages, screenshots, and coded confirmations are circulating in real time, with some groups even reporting glimpses of appointment letters explicitly marked for foreign currency redemption. The atmosphere within these communities is electric, a complex mix of caution, profound hope, and deeply held emotion, marking a possible shift in a decade-long financial journey. The constant repetition of false alarms and denials over the past decade has, for many, made the current feeling of movement overwhelming. They can now reportedly sense the undeniable financial shift happening beneath their feet, a tectonic movement in the global monetary system. However, continued patience remains the most crucial instruction. Experts tracking the reports warn that while the alleged exchange activity is real and ongoing, the official public rollout will only follow after absolute global system stability is confirmed. That could mean a period of days or perhaps a few weeks, depending on the data flow and the outcomes of the current testing phase. The key phrase actively circulating among insiders is controlled access. This controlled access ensures that only fully verified currency holders operating under secure and pre-scheduled appointments can initially complete the redemption process. Once this phase proves to be completely stable and secure, the doors for broader public access will open naturally. Think of this process like a wave. It begins quietly and builds strength gradually, then finally becomes an unstoppable force. The necessary infrastructure is fully built, the data is flowing consistently, and by all internal indications, the high-level treasury systems are fully online and operational, moving through the necessary procedural steps. One former bank compliance officer speaking off record reportedly encapsulated the entire shift in tone perfectly. This time, everything feels fundamentally different. There is precision now, not just promises. There is an established structure, not merely speculation. His words perfectly capture the dramatic change in the operational reality. For a decade, the entire revaluation conversation was dominated by frustrating rumors and unfulfilled expectations. But now, the discourse is centered on established procedure, verified exchange centers, confirmed memos, encrypted systems, and real movement. This is why many financial observers are now characterizing this period as the silent dawn. It is a dawn that is arriving not with a deafening noise, but with an immense, calculated power, the kind of systemic financial shift that possesses the potential to rewrite not just individual financial fortunes, but the structures of global commerce and trade by revaluing a currency to reflect its true asset-backed potential. So, what remains the imperative for currency holders now? To stay critically alert, to remain completely calm, and to be thoroughly prepared. All essential documents, identification, proof of currency purchase, and any verification receipts must be kept perfectly organized and ready. Do not, under any circumstances, fall victim to fraudulent emails or self-proclaimed exchange agents. The real, official communication will only ever come through secure and verifiable channels. Remember that true patience in this moment is not simply waiting, it is active preparation. Those who remain steady and focused during this profound silent countdown will be the first to move forward when the final doors are opened, following the designated and secured protocols. The systems are humming, the banks are aligning, and the activation codes are reportedly live within the internal networks. The clock is ticking quietly, powerfully, and for many, inevitably. As the night deepens and the live data continues to flow through the highly guarded treasury systems, one truth stands undeniable. Based on the volume of reports, the silent countdown has truly begun. Exchange centers across America are active, heavily guarded, and standing ready for the next procedural signal. The operational maps have been meticulously drawn, the specialized teams are permanently in place, and financial history is reportedly and quietly unfolding behind a heavy curtain of confidentiality, signaling the conclusion of years of preparation and speculation. For years, this story was widely dismissed as an impossible fantasy, but tonight the profound operational silence speaks louder than any public headline ever could, validating the persistent, long-term belief of its holders in the potential for a currency revaluation. Stay alert, stay hopeful. Because when the sun rises on this new financial dawn, those who maintain their belief and who meticulously prepared will be standing at the edge of a new reality. The Iraqi Dinar, the Vietnamese Dong, the revaluation, it is no longer a question of if it is happening, but a matter of when the public confirmation will be finalized. And that when may, according to all reports, already be in motion.